you know, we've played good in patches. I still don't think we've played as good as what we can, but you know, most teams at this stage of the competition are probably in the same boat. So, no, you know, it's been a good positive start. I've got big numbers at training. It's a big club, Otahuhu, and you know, the people are working very hard for us.
You've obviously still got a very young team, which you did have last year. A lot of guys only in their sort of 20s or even younger. You know, individually, how do you assess how your players have adapted to the physicality and speed of the Fox compared to the Shaman?
Well, they had a tough year last year in the Shaman Cup. You know, like it mightn't be as quick, but it's extremely physical, and you know, a few of them had to grow up pretty quickly last year. You know, I didn't actually appreciate just how young a lot of them were actually. You know, but this year I think, you know, they've all improved, and I think that's all you can ask. And, you know, they work hard at training. They're fun to be around most of the time, and, you know, we're all enjoying it.
Young Geronimo Doyle's been getting some big raps in the last few weeks. He's secured a number of Player of the Day points. He's adding plenty for you at the back there, a bit of a composed presence, but also adds some real, I guess, venom to the attack.
Yeah, he's improved a lot, Geronimo. He dropped 4 or 5 kilos over the summer, and you know, has come back. He's a lot quicker than what he was last year. Playing well, yeah, playing well, developing nicely.
Mount Albert, they've started the season on fire, only the one loss so far. What are your impressions of them? I'm not sure if you've managed to catch any of their games, but your impressions of Mount Albert so far?
Oh, well, historically they're always hard to beat, Mount Albert. You know? Yeah, it's a bit weird. No, you know, they'll be a good, you know, test for us today. I think, you know, I give us a good chance of beating them, to be honest.
And just on that, I mean, obviously the way your styles match up, I mean, where do you win this game today, John? Where's it going to be won?
I think it's the old story, you know, like field position and controlling the football and that sort of stuff. You know, I think it should be a really good game.
You come up obviously against your former club. You know, you've dealt with all of this last year, obviously, with the change. There's such a great rivalry there between it. You know, is it any different for you coming up against Mount Albert than any other team?
Well, it's a bit different coming up against my son today, and you know, and a lot of boys that I coached actually.
Yeah.
Like it's good to see, you know, so many, you know, juniors in both clubs. I think that's the way it should be in Auckland League. I think, you know, Mount Albert's starting to get a lot more juniors through now, and you know, Otahuhu are just almost entirely juniors. You know, I think that's good. You know, and I think both clubs deserve a bit of credit for making sure that happens.
You mentioned coming up against Aiden today. I think it might be the first time you will have coached against him. You know, we've heard from Ivan and Nathan Cleary over the last few weeks about their thoughts on, I guess, taking each other on. For yourself, is it something you've been looking forward to or dreading?
Well, I just hit his boots this morning. that was my contribution to the day. What's more, I don't think he found them.
Well, there we go. There we go. So stand by for a late change in the Mount Albert team. But obviously adds another, I guess, facet to this game. There's plenty going on there with the traditional rivalry. John, we're going to let you disappear and finish preparing your team. But thank you for joining us and all the best today.
Thank you very much, Corey.
The way he had sex with his partner.
We are now joined by head coach of the Mount Albert Lions, Keith Hanley. Well, Keith, a positive start to the year for you guys, only the one loss to your name. You pretty happy with the way things have got underway in 2018?
Oh, mate, yeah, cheers, mate. We're coming together slowly. It's a matter of evolution for us. I think we haven't really found a rhythm to this point. I think our challenge, probably like most other sides, is just trying to find ourselves, a little bit of cohesion, and you know, hopefully today we'll give a little bit of better performance than we have so far.
Nail biter last week against Richmond. I think Rhys Joyce nailing a 40-metre penalty late on to win it. Has the heart rate gone down yet?
Oh, mate, I think week in, week out, you know, every game's got an element of competitiveness in it. All the sides are good. Yeah, I think that's just sort of par for the course, mate. We tend to attract those kinds of games, and yeah, that's just par for the course, mate. Yeah.
Pretty strong team you field today, but there are some big names missing. Obviously, Isaac Miskey, Royden Gillett, Coma Sampson as well. So just talk us through the injury state at the club and availability.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, obviously injuries have played a little bit of a part in our campaign, but we're moving forward with some younger blokes and giving them some opportunities. In the course of the next 2 or 3 weeks, all 3 lads that you mentioned there, Miskey, Coma, and Royden, they'll be back in the fold. And we're excited to have them back when that moment comes. Yeah, it's looking positive for us.
Getting some really good go forward through the middle, and that was perhaps the noticeable difference in Mount Albert this year compared to last year is the performance of your middles. Joseph Price playing some really good footy, and Salah Falilo Malio as well. And off the back of that, young Johnny Falilo Malio having some success. So are you happy with, I guess, the way your engine room is coming along?
Yeah, like I said earlier, mate, it's a little bit of an evolution for us. We lost some quality players to another side. We've given some young blokes a little bit of an opportunity, and it's still a work in progress. We're not happy at this point. We're just trying to get better every week.
The Otahuhu Leopards today, 3-2 so far this year, coached by John Ackland. You know they're going to be prepared. What are you expecting from this team?
Oh, look, they're a quality side. You know, they'll have a high completion rate. They don't they follow on really strongly from one side to another. They don't play a lot of risky stuff, and you've got to. They won't beat themselves. All right, they're a team we're going to have to play with. We're going to have to play a little bit of footy to be successful today.
Awesome. That's all for us. Thank you for joining us, Keith. We're now going to take a very short break, and all the best.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Best day to you guys as well. Thanks, mate.
Well, down here at the home of the Leopards and joined by the chairman. And, mate, what can you tell us in regards to what happens up here at the club tonight, Bruce?
Oh, it's a big day for the club, big day, play day, good day for rugby league right now. Good to see all the cars and all the people here, and very good to have a curtain raiser, Sharman Cup, Ellerslie versus Papatoa, a really good game to see. It's just a real good game for rugby league. A good day for rugby league, good day for Otahuhu Rugby League Club.
Takes you back to the younger days, doesn't it, at Carlo Park with a curtain raiser?
Yeah, I played at Carlo Park when I was a young guy, but I was more experienced with the development of this ground here, and I've got a lot of stories to tell about this ground. But it's been really interesting. Good to see the place being used to its potential now.
Absolutely, and just on that, want to thank you on behalf of the Auckland Rugby League hosting us down here today at the home of the Leopards, Bert Herman. Yep. The ground's looking fantastic. Bit of work done during the off-season?
Not as much. We've got to do some work at the end of this season. It needs there's a little bit of up and down in the field and that, but generally the pitch is pretty good. It is pretty good, yeah.
And in regards to the team, what's the vibe like, in the club at the moment? John Ackland back, bringing the your young roster through from Sharman, and a lot of them on board now. What is the vibe? Let's talk about that.
The mood at the club between the premiers and Premier First and Senior A's is very good. Everybody's got the right attitude, and everybody's doing what they can to get themselves in good shape to play. And we've got our expectations this year. We know what we'd be happy with, and it is a real good. Last year was a tough year for us, as John initially said. Sharman Cup is tough. It's not as fast, but it's pretty tough. And our guys, our young guys, got knocked around big time last year. But they had a year of experience, which they don't understand, they don't accept, or they don't. It hasn't registered with them. But they've had a year of experience, and it's really coming to fruition now.
And you're not just having success, with the men's teams. You've got a pretty grouse-looking Otahuhu Leopards female side, and how are they shaping up for the season?
Well, they seemingly going very well. They beat Richmond a couple of weeks ago. They're really fronting up, and I personally haven't spent enough time talking to the ladies, which I will do, and it's good to see the 13s, 15s and 17-year-old ladies with a competition too. Really good for rugby league. It's rebuilding of a lot of old standards that were here years ago.
And I understand you've got a couple of under-18 teams, is that right?
We've got 2 under-18 teams. The 20s was canned by Auckland Rugby League a couple of weeks ago, but 2 18 teams which are really strong, and I've got a lot of thought for them playing for Otahuhu Club in the future.
Mate, and in regards to the club, it's rich in tradition. You've had a lot of, legends of the game that have played down here at Otahuhu.
Yep.
A lot of the infrastructure and the support in running a club of this size, you need good sponsors, and outside support and money, not just volunteers, but definitely sponsors. And I understand you've got a few of those. Yeah,
well, we've got our main sponsor here is Roof Care, Kelly Skelly, an old Otahuhu stalwart, and Knight Plumbers as the secondary base. But we need more plumbers. If anybody's out there that wants to sponsor Otahuhu Rugby League, come along and talk to us at any time.
Okay. And any other sponsors in regards to, playing a supportive role, or are you always looking for the next opportunity for a sponsor to come on board?
Oh, for sure. DG Sports is our gear sponsor and that sort of thing. They do very well for us, and so we're doing very well, and we're really pleased with the sponsors we have got, but we do need more, yes.
Yeah, and I know that there's a lot of opportunities down here. You've got a fabulous club, you've got a big events room as well. There's a lot of value you can offer to any sponsor wanting to come on board. And just on that, live streaming, the Auckland Rugby League put in a big initiative last year to start rolling out live streaming across the SAS Fox Memorial, and also you touched on the Sharman Cup.
Yep.
How does the club feel about that, and what value is it for you?
Oh, I think it's very good. It's another feature that wasn't there before, and another way people can watch rugby league. I actually like the coverage on Maori TV, but that petered out for whatever reason. But whatever to maximise the coverage of rugby league, it is all good for the game. Yeah.
I think you'd be happy to know too, mate. Last week we signed a deal with Pacifica TV, so with a big strong following of Tongans, Samoans, and the rest of the Pacific Islands. We're actually live across all of the Pacific nations now, and a lot of passion for rugby league, across those nations. Mate, in regards to this evening, and this is you're hosting today. What happens up at the club, and can anyone come along?
Anybody can come along. It's not a problem. Anybody can come along, and we're here to host whoever wants to turn up. We have our prize giving between our Premier team and Mount Albert about 5:15, and they have something to eat, and then they normally go back to their own club. But we have our own senior prize giving here at 6:30. There's also a junior prize giving this afternoon. It packs up the whole hall downstairs, so that's a big involvement too.
And are you surprised at how much support is here today? The viewers can't see field two, but that's pretty well shoulder to shoulder over there, looking for a big, strong turnout.
Oh, I'm not surprised because the variation of teams and that here in different clubs. I'm not surprised at all. It's looks like the car parking is plenty here, and it's handling it pretty well. Yeah,
and Clash of the Cats. This has always been a big one for you guys. What's your expectation today, and what's the inside tip?
Well, I know Otahuhu has got a good chance. It's a very long season, and I know what our expectations are for the team for the year. So I'm not a betting man, but I know our guys are playing very well. The last year they had a young side, and they've had a year of experience. And Otahuhu, dare I say it, is not a bought side. There are teams in the Fox that are bought teams, and our team is here with their heart. But we've been a little bit raped and pillaged over the years with teams, with a few different teams. But we're not bought. We're honest. There's a T-shirt around that says Otahuhu players bred, not bought.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's quite interesting.
So I suppose you buy that from the Otahuhu Leopards website, .co.nz.
Yes, for sure. You can get them, yeah.
Look, mate, I know you're really busy today. You've got a lot on, and, you know, you helped us set up this morning, and big kudos to you. Bruce Shaw, who's the chairman of the Otahuhu Rugby League Club, I want to thank you for joining us today, mate. Is there any last words you'd like to share with our viewers?
No, but it's a long season, and just stick around. We'll do okay this year, I'll tell you.
Okay, well, look, thanks very much for joining us. We're going to have a small break now as we get a splash screen up. We can hear the boys outside getting ready to warm up, and we'll be back very shortly as Corey Rosser, co-commentator, will be joining us here on the Auckland Rugby League live stream.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, as we build up towards kickoff in the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership clash between the Otahuhu Leopards and the Mount Albert Lions. We'll very shortly be joined in commentary by Troy Hardy as we build towards kickoff in this one. We just saw the Ellerslie Eagles get up in the Crown Lift Trucks Sharman Cup curtain raiser over the Papatoetoe Panthers. You see both teams out on field now, warming up. Mount Albert going through their final preparations. But first, a little look at some of the results from last week, and a thriller involving the Mount Albert Lions, 28-27 over the Richmond Bulldogs. It was a Rhys Joyce penalty in the final minute, a 40-metre penalty, which got Mount Albert home. They scored 8 points in the final 5 minutes to win that one and dodged the bullet. Richmond still without a victory at the bottom of the ladder. That one's got to hurt, coming so close to knocking over one of the Premiership heavyweights. Out at Paparoa Park, it was the Glenora Bears who inflicted Howick's first loss of the year, 20 points to 12, the Bears getting up in that one. The Marist Saints, well, it was the Papakura Seagulls that just edged out in that one. That was a match between two sides who were yet to pick up a victory this year. Papakura nailing a late penalty in that one as well to get the result. Point Chevalier, it was a live stream game, huge win for them, 42-0 over the Northcote Tigers. While over at Walter Massey Park, the Otahuhu Leopards got up 28-22 over the Mangere East Hawks. So that is the action from last week in the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. So it's just the one team at the top without a loss so far. The Otahuhu Leopards, of course, back up in the Fox after a year down in the second division, making a positive start to life back in the top flight under coach John Ackland. Take a look as well at some of last week's Crown Lift Trucks Sharman Cup action. Number of big games that went on there. Of course, we saw the Ellerslie Eagles in action just a few minutes ago here at Bert Hennon Park. Comprehensive victory for the Eagles in that one. But a look at some of the results from round 3 of that competition last week, and it is the Bay Roskill Vikings who remained unbeaten top of the table with a 32-20 victory over the Otara Scorpions. Franklin Storm got up 52-12 over the Hibiscus Coast Raiders. Northern Brothers 48-16 winners over the Manukau Magpies, while the Te Atatū Roosters just edged past the Pakuranga Jaguars 18 points to 16. Mount Wellington Warriors upset the previously unbeaten Newland Stags 26-18. Well, the Manurewa Marlins were 30-24 victors over the Ellerslie Eagles, and a big win for the Ponsonby Ponies, 102-0 over the Papatoetoe Panthers. So that is a little catch-up on the action that's been happening across the grounds in Auckland. We're now going to bring up the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership ladder, and this is how it looks after 5 rounds. At the top, it is the Point Chevalier Pirates, the only undefeated team in the competition. They hold the Konaka Minolta Root Rooster as well, and sit at the top without a loss so far. Following that, 3 teams on 8 points with just the 1 loss. The Glenora Bears, who lost to Point Chev in round 1. The Mount Albert Lions, who lost to Howick. And, of course, the Howick Hornets themselves, who went down to Glenora last week for their first loss of the year. The Otahuhu Leopards, 3 wins, sitting on 6 points, just ahead of the Mangere East Hawks on 4 points. The Northcote Tigers as well, joining that one on 4 points with 2 victories. And at the bottom, Papakura Sea Eagles picking up their first one last week, and it is the Richmond Bulldogs and Marist Saints who sit at the bottom without a victory so far. I'm now going to welcome into the commentary booth Troy Hardy as we build towards kickoff in that one. And Troy, just having a look at the competition ladder here. Point Chevalier faultless throughout the opening 5 weeks. We saw them in action last week. Super impressive, that side. They defended their line beautifully, and some of the tries they scored were excellent.
They were fabulous, yeah. There was, I suppose, a lot of expectation around Jeff Morton and his team, the Northcote Tigers, and they probably didn't live up to that expectation on the day. And I know that he's, he's got a pretty cracked side, but Point Chevalier Pirates on that day were on fire. Glenora Bears, Lions, Hornets, all thereabouts, and I think we're about to see, obviously Lions on display today, and Leopards, certainly in the top half of the ladder, and it's certainly going to be a major clash today, the clash of the cats.
And wasn't it refreshing to hear in the pre-game match John Ackland just admit that, hey, actually give us a pretty good chance of winning this one? So often these days coaches want to downplay everything and deflect away from that, but John, very open about it. He said, give us a good chance today. He's got a young team, and he obviously believes in them. Yeah,
I think he was very fortunate. He said to us at the end of last season, and even coming into the pre-season of this year, a lot of the young boys that he had through the Sharman Cup, that he managed to keep that roster, so they would have taken some knowledge and grown in regards to coming into this year's effort. And one of the things you sort of touched on, and it's sort of just a great story. John, as the head coach of Otahuhu Leopards, and his son's playing in the Mount Albert side today. So I dare say wife Marie Ackland would have been a bit frazzled this week and been pulling her hair out. I won't be surprised if we get a text from her at some point. But you can imagine what the atmosphere would have been like inside the Ackland household this week.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a funny experience today for both John and Aidan. But I'm sure once the whistle blows, it'll all be fairly well normal. And it's going to be good to see Aidan in action at this level. I mentioned in the build up towards the Sharman game earlier that we haven't got to see a lot of him at Fox Memorial Premiership level in the last few years. He's been playing up with the Vodafone Warriors in the under-20s competition, playing some really good footy there as well, a mix of 5'8", halfback and hooker he's been playing. Named at hooker today, so I'm sure he'll get a working over in the middle of the park in particular. But another great storyline to add to this game.
Absolutely, and look, and here's the tip. I think an Ackland will win today. Just a quiet one. Another big story on that one also is a famous family out of the Otahuhu Leopards is the Ropati family, and John Ropati and Tania, who's Marie's wife. It's a pretty small family in regards to the rugby league. And he's a stalwart of Otahuhu, John, along with the rest of his brothers, Joseph, Peter, and what have you. Tia Ropati. I mean, they've got they could just about field a team by themselves. I nearly said film a team. And John's son is Rory, and he plays for Mount Albert. So, lots of complexity there. But I think all that aside, going to be a massive game today. Both teams will be very well structured. The field, at least the rain's sort of holding off now. The ground is firm. It's a great surface. A little bit slippery, but I think we're going to see some good football.
That's right. You mentioned Rory Ropati, who we saw in action in the reserve game earlier. So, important to mention some of the quality that has been left out of these two teams, such as the depth that they hold right now, particularly this Mount Albert team. So plenty of experience there. You look even at the bench, Troy, who've just highlighted Dion Snell. Well, he was Player of the Year in the Auckland Comp a few years ago. He's on the bench for Mount Albert, so that says everything really about their forward pack.
Yeah, and I think Mount Albert will be very happy that Dion Buzz will be back, and I don't know if he's played that many minutes this year, but it'll be certain to great to see him go around again. Just looking forward to a fantastic game of footy. And if you have joined us, from around the world, also around the South Pacific nations, I want to be a big shout out to SAS Sporting Apparel, who are the major sponsors of the Fox Memorial.
Absolutely. Players to look out for, starting with the home team. I think at the back, Geronimo Doyle, who has been getting plenty of reps lately. He's been getting plenty of Player of the Year points as well. added a real classy presence, I guess, to that back line when he chimes in. John Ackland said he's a player that's come on a lot in the last year. He's lost a bit of weight, and therefore his, I guess, mobility and speed increasing as well. So he's one to watch out for. But also around the dummy half, staying in the spine, Tom Fasuanga, the number 9. We've seen him in action for a few years now. A classy player there out of the bottom of the ruck. He's one to watch today. And for the Mount Albert Lions, well, there's strike all over the field. This is a team full of stars. Look at the back, Dylan Roto, who's a player that we really haven't seen much of in the last few years due to a tough run with injuries. He's at the back, he'll wear the 17. But in the halves as well, Rhys-Joyce, who was on fire to start the season. Trent Wallace as well, who's one of the most experienced and composed halves, I think, in the first division. And then you look in the dummy half positions, Aidan Ackland, who's played at those high levels, Johnny Faliloa-Malio, who's played for his country at age grade. The list goes on. So plenty of quality on display today, plenty of boys who have gone on to play at high levels over the years. So very much looking forward to seeing them in action here as we count down towards kickoff here at Bert Henham Park. Mount Albert Lions coming into this one. We mentioned off a nail biter last week. Went down to the Richmond Bulldogs. Well, won against Richmond Bulldogs, we should say. Nailed a late penalty there through Rhys-Joyce. They had to score 8 points in the final 5 minutes or so to get the job done on that occasion. So a wonderful win for them as well. And this Otahuhu team, well, a good win against Mangere East last week, Troy. That will have been a game that they targeted, knowing that, you know, if we're the real deal, we've got to win these ones. And they got it done 28 to 26, to 22, I should say.
Yeah, and Mangere East have been a surprise team. You know, they've got some really good forwards inside that pack that can certainly bend the line, and they've got good footwear to cut the line. They've got great ball skills. We saw them go up against the live stream match when they played Howick. And, you know, obviously took like 38 minutes to get into the game, and by then Howick were out, I think, for about 30, 40 points. But in the second half, it was all them. Yeah. And, you know, one of the big things, or the learnings they'll take out of that, is they really can't afford to wait 30-odd minutes to get into an SAS Fox Memorial match. It's just too hard to try and claw back from that sort of deficit.
And just a quick look at some of the other action which is going on across Auckland in the first division. We've got the Glenora Bears, who are at home to the Richmond Bulldogs. Glenora looking to continue that wonderful run that has seen them go undefeated since round 1. I went down to point 7 in round 1, but regathered and are looking pretty good. The Marist Saints take on the Northcote Tigers at Murray Halberg Park, while Howick take on Papakura. That's a bit of a grudge match there. A number of players who have gone between those clubs over the last few years. That'll be a good game at Paparoa Park as well. And then Mangere East face the Point Chevalier Pirates. It's probably the team you don't want to face in the comp right now, but that Mangere East team, they're a young side. They'll be fearless going into that one, so we look forward to that. Do stay tuned on aucklandleague.co.nz. We'll bring you all the results and reaction from those games. But in the meantime, it's time for the Battle of the Cats, and we're now going to bring up the team lists and take a look at how they will line up, and they're pretty much as named. A couple of jersey swaps, but that's it. So we'll start with the home team, and at the back it is the co-captain Geronimo Doyle. He's been in fantastic form the last few weeks. The wingers Setu Tu and Unuku Malisala, and the centres Ethan Nukanuka and Rahiri Fitihira. In the halves, Nofuasa Malutoa joins Andrew Maroroa. Up front in the engine room, the young fellow, the 21-year-old Richard Halani, joins another young fellow, another 21-year-old Connor Torua Pusel, who is the vice-captain of this team as well, co-captain. Tom Vaufusuanga is the number 9, and in the back row on the edge is Sione Tongia and Dylan Uate, and locking the scrum, Benjamin Farton Benedict. On the bench, Felipe Vaiafisi, Damon Simanu, Sean Motu Muave, and Jonah Soifeli. So that is how your Otahuhu Leopards will take the field today, coached by John Ackland. And now looking at the Mount Albert Lions, at the back, Dylan Rota. The wingers are Junior Lolehea and Cortez Taulu. Cortez has scored a number of tries over the last few weeks. He's in a rich vein of form. In the centres, Corey Sita and the experienced Peter Olivetti, who's come across from Papakura. And, represented counties over the years as well. A really experienced player, Peter Olivetti. Scored the winning try at the SportSafe ARL 9s earlier this year. In the halves, the experienced Trent Wallace joins Rhys-Joyce, one of the real exciting young players in this competition. Salafalilua Malio and Afa Viatapu. Other front rowers, Aidan Ackland is the number 9. And in the back row, the captain Jared Tua joins Joseph Price and Peapalu. On the bench for the Mount Albert Lions, Johnny Falilua Malio, Emmanuel Tuamavavi Gerard, Dion Snell and Saimali Makahili. So that is how your two teams will take the field today. Mount Albert Lions brought to you by naming rights sponsors WH Weary. And for the Otahuhu Leopards, Roof Care, bringing you the premier team today. So the two teams now making their way out onto the field. Otahuhu just going through their final prayer before they take the field today. Our referee in the middle of the park is Simon Taylor. He'll be assisted by Nathan Barker-Pringle and Corey Jewell on the sidelines. See Jared Tua there having a chat to referee Taylor. Tua, a real veteran of the Auckland scene by now. Played a fair bit of footy representative-wise. Spent some time with the New Zealand Warriors reserves and was part of the Auckland Vulcans. Before that became part of the New Zealand Warriors setup as well. Mangere East Junior, 26 years of age, playing some great footy this year.
Gonna behave today? Sounds like. Which way we go? Don't know yet. Let's go, let's.
In terms of last year's performances, the Mount Albert Lions, they had a pretty good year last year, but bundled out in the first week of the semi-finals at the hands of Howick. A painful exit for them, a number of changes since then. A new coaching team in place, a number of new players. They've brought in the likes of Salah Faliloa Malio, Rhys Joyce, Royden Gillett, who won't take the field today. So have strengthened up their team in a number of areas, you would think, and for the Otahuhu Leopards, well, they won the Crown Lift Trucks Sharman Cup, were dominant in that competition in the end, got up over Bay Roskill to ensure a straight bounce back into the first division. It was the first time they've been relegated last year, but they bounced back in true style under coach John Ackland. So the final formalities now going on as we prepare for kickoff in this one. Round 6 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. Great to be bringing you live streams of every single round this year. Double headers right now involving teams from the Crown Lift Trucks Sharman Cup, but in a couple of weeks' time we get into SAS Fox Memorial Premiership double headers. We're bringing you back-to-back local live league action. It is going to be the Otahuhu Leopards who get things underway off the boot of Geronimo Doyle.
Stay behind, time to run when you're ready.
And away we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go. Yeah, contact coming.
It is the Mount Albert Lions straight into it.
Up now! Back is blocking. Oh, go one.
Faliloa Malio.
Bruce down! All the way, here we are. Oh, two.
Aidan Ackland back in the team to face the old man today.
Up now!
A highlight in the pre-game has been playing some great footy at the higher levels. Slightly built for the number 9, but boy, he's tough. Troy, I remember a couple of stories from yourself watching Aidan Ackland play over the years and taking on the likes of Tony Tuia at this level.
Absolutely.
He's fearless.
Yeah, and Tony was telling me he was just trying to give him some guidance. No, he's one tough boy, and not a bad kick. I think that's found touch.
Yeah, very good start to the game there for the Mount Albert Lions. Professional finish to that set. They'll be happy with that one. They get off to a solid start here. And a scrum to pack down Otahuhu to get their first use of the ball. Looking at this Otahuhu team, Troy, very young, a whole lot of 20-year-olds in there. The captains are 21, both the captains. They're a youthful team, but I think one thing, John Ackland is very good with young players, obviously. He spent a number of years coaching the junior Warriors. He'll know how to get the best out of these guys, and I guess, you know, the results, well, that's the fruit of that.
Yeah, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. They'll want to play for John, and they'll want to lift and meet his expectation, and he'll certainly, you know, be giving them lots of encouragement and guidance. And as I said earlier to the build-up, you know, he was pleased that a lot of the young players come back this year. So, you know, they're going to learn and grow from that experience, and hopefully some of that will unfold, you know, during this season.
First penalty of the match.
She's a quick tap and go. Here come the Leopards. Good body contact at the line there.
Good work. One.
Shifting back to the left.
Up now! Take two. Oh,
35 out from the line. Vafusuanga turns back on the inside. There's a great carry forward there by Sione Tongia.
Yeah, showing some intent there as he hit the ball.
Back from a stint playing country rugby league in Australia. Farton Benedict now takes it onto the heart. They're up for this here, Otahuhu. They shuffle out towards this right edge now. They drop the little kick in behind, but good hands.
Good regather.
But Joseph Price brings it in.
Might have just bobbled that. Now the referee's happy.
So positive opening sets for both teams here. Ta'ulu gets out of dummy half.
Lots of communication happening with the Lions in the background.
20 off their line here, Mount Albert. Joyce goes to the line, had to pull back there because it was obstruction, and in fact went just a little bit too far there. Referee Taylor onto it. You could see there Troy Reese-Joyce pulled up. He knew what was
He's
coming.
wanting to have the chat. He's looking very confused. No, referee says no, thanks. You move picking up some of the audio on the CTAS live stream.
So Doyle kicks for touch.
Not a bad kick either.
A great opening opportunity here for the Otahuhu Leopards. Back into it they go. Uate. Slow play the ball. Tua involved. Vafusuanga to Purcell. Captained this team to promotion at 20 years of age. Last year did Connor Purcell. We see an error there. And they're let off the hook there, the Mount Albert Lions. The earlier mistake. But it's followed up by a Leopards error.
Yeah, coaching staff won't be too happy about that.
Totoa Purcell's not happy about it, but the scrum to pack down now. Reese-Joyce to feed.
Yep, when you're ready, Reese. Out now.
Olivetti getting involved in the work. Longtime player on the Auckland club scene, was the player of the tournament at the inaugural SportSafe RL9s up on Whitianga. Playing for Papaquita at that stage. Representing counties. I dare say probably a player that would come fairly close to being in the frame for the Auckland representative team when it is named next week, as Joyce gets to his kick, and he's got a lovely long kicking game on Reese-Joyce. This is a big one. Takes a fortuitous bounce for Doyle at the back, who's onto it, beats the first one, but Cedar reels him in.
Nice chase by the Mount Albert Lions.
So that long kicking game of Reese-Joyce already a factor in this one. Falilua Malio holding on down below has been one of the real standouts to open the year. He's come across from the Te Aratu Roosters. Obviously his desire to play in the Fox meant that the Roosters were no longer a viable option for him. He had headed back to his junior club to try and help them remain in the Sharman, but wasn't meant to be on this occasion. Playing great footy this year for the Mount Albert Lions. There's a good carry forward there by Witihira. And Vafusuanga jumps out of dummy half, gets him to halfway. Nice play here from the Otahuhu Leopards. They spread wide to Doyle. Doyle goes high. The hovering one down to the back. Rota is under it, scoops it up nicely now and looks up to see a sea of blue. Good return though, and he gets to a quick play the ball. That's a nice touch there from Rota at the back. Lions making good yardage early on in this one. Reese-Joyce jumps into dummy half and finds his captain Tua. They're up to halfway already here, Mount Albert, starting to get a bit of a roll on. Good dominant tackle there by the Leopards.
Let him go. Go for.
Ackland jumps out.
Shot.
Links up with the big fella, Via Tupu. Mount Wellington Warriors Junior, spent some time with the Howard Hornets. Reese-Joyce dinks one in over the top. Pressure on at the back here, goes up for it. Ball is spilt. I think that's going to be off Otahuhu, and it is. So back-to-back sets coming up for the Mount Albert Lions here. Put it down to the kick of Reese-Joyce. Sums it up beautifully. And Troy, we saw this guy in action at the SportSafe RL9s earlier this year. He scored a number of tries off those sort of cross-field kicks. It's a real strength of his game.
Absolutely. Great weapon for the team to have. And, you know, in the opening minutes of this match, the vigour that Mount Albert Lions are showing is like, you know, they're on the money. They're certainly here for business today.
So Eklund collects from the back of the scrum. Wallace goes to the line. And there's going to be a knock-on in there. It looked like it could have been an obstruction or gone either way. And so a sloppy error there from the Mount Albert Lions, just falling apart a little bit on that edge there. The plan breaking down. So scrum will pack down a Otahuhu feed. 8 minutes gone here at Bert Henham Park. And the feature game of the day from the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership.
A little bit of size there in the front row from the Mount Albert Lions. Great.
Lovely carry out of trouble there by Setutu. 19-year-old Otahuhu Junior. Represented the Toa Samoa under-20s last year.
Creating a bit of space here are the Leopards. Oh, nice dummy half. Fake there, went the opposite way.
You don't see that one pulled out too often these days, do you? Blast from the past. Totoa Purcell plays at the line. They're up over halfway here. Eklund over the top, working over in the tackle. Vafusuanga, unsure what to do. Looks out, looks right and then left. Eventually hooks up. Was that a high shot? Play on is the call.
Great fend.
Ball comes out the back there with the header, picks it up. Doyle on the ball now, staggered line, dinks a little kick in over the top. Rota is back there to take it on the full. Returns the ball hard again.
Good to see Rota back too.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had a torrid run with injuries, hasn't he, Troy? And remember a few years ago, we saw him feature for this Mount Albert team, I think mostly in the centres from memory.
Yep.
He's lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, it looks like he's trimmed down, done a wee bit of work, so that'll definitely put him in great stead. He always had a wee bit of speed.
Fans of the Fairleigh Footers women's competition will have seen Dylan Rota's sister Crystal in action. Playing some really good footy for the Manurewa Marlins as well. Nice little kick over the top here, and they need to be a bit careful here at Otahuhu. What a brilliant kick. It just set up. And in the end, Malisala had no choice but to make a play at it. So back-to-back sets coming up here for the Lions.
Scrum getting ready to be set, like welcoming all the viewers from around the world.
Joyce feeds Eklund again at the back to collect it. Peter Olivetti, a little bit of footwork at the line. Finished off over the top by Tongia. Eklund slips again, eventually taken down under the weight of Nuka Nuka. Viatapu goes to the line. 3 out now. Eklund calling the shots at dummy half. Looks out towards his left. Wallace holds it up. Lovely ball from Trent Wallace. It's going to be a tight finish in the corner. And it is Cortez Taulu, points to the spot himself. And scores in the corner. Lovely work. Let's take a look on at the SAS Sporting Replay.
So, probably just didn't slow that down fast enough.
You can
Quick
see
out of the dummy half. Great pass.
once it gets to the hands of Trent Wallace there, all that experience comes through, hands it to Taulu, who does well to finish in the tight space for yet another try. He's on fire to start the year as Cortez.
Yeah, the 6, 7, 9 could well be dangerous for the Lions today. And I think the bench is going to play a big part in today's match too.
You see there on screen, Coma Sampson running water for the Mount Albert Lions.
Somebody must have heard Bruce Shaw in the build-up. That last car park's just taken. Good to see the field close line disbanded off to the edge of the car park there as well, as we get ready for the conversion.
Coma Sampson, he's had a couple of false starts, was all ready to take the field a couple of weeks ago before getting injured in the warm-up and having to pull out. So he will be a big in for them when he does get a run. Of course, he's played most recently for Glenora at Fox level, but was one of the captains who led the Junior Warriors to the title under John Eklund in 2014, along with Mason Lenor. See the conversion from out wide, and it is away. So the score remains WH Wary, Mount Albert Lions 4, Roof Care Otahuhu Leopards 0. 12 minutes gone here at Bert Hennon Park.
And a big shout out to Bill Weary. I understand you might have been a little bit under the weather this week, mate, so speedy recovery to you. I know that they're, you know, love your support down at the Mount Albert Lions, and true stalwart and supporter for the mighty Lions.
So back underway.
Good strong carry.
Oh, go 1, 8.
Falilua Malio now spots up. I think was looking at Malutoa there.
Yeah, they want to meet him early and not let him get a big wind-up.
Joyce turns Tua back in on the inside. Good defence, Otahuhu. They meet him solid and drive him back 3 or 4 metres. Farton Benedict involved in that one as well. Falilua Malio plays at the line, but the ball is put down. So chancing their arm there, Mount Albert doesn't come off on that occasion. The big fella ball playing at the line, so the scrum will pack down just short of the 40.
Bit of chit-chat there happening in the front row. The forwards love that.
Remembering a number of these boys will know each other from years spent in the SAS College Rugby League competitions as well as representative teams. Doyle pops up at the back. You can see Mount Albert putting plenty of attention on Geronimo Doyle at the back there, numbering up on him. They jump out at dummy half. There's a juggle and a big hit delivered by Junior Lola here, which comes up with the error. Ackland is the man to dive on it. Good defence, Lola here. Falilua Malio takes it forward, but Total Purcell has other ideas. Back you go. To the line they go through Palu. Mount Albert Lions Junior, 29 years of age.
Not happy with the wrestle there. Referee says step back.
Wallace goes to Joseph Price. We're more accustomed to seeing Price playing that middle forward role as a 13, but named on the edge today, he is a super skillful player. Got that nice bit of footwork and the dangerous offload as well. Ackland shovels play left. Wallace to Olivetti. Olivetti, powerful runner. 11 out from the line now, Mount Albert. Rota is the dummy half. Finds Wallace. Trent Wallace now looks to the sky. Difficult one here, nicely weighted, but beautifully brought down there by Otahuhu. And is he going to stay in the field of play? No, he's not. So great kick chase, Mount Albert Lions. They forced the repeat set there after Malutoa went up and got the ball.
Couple of great subtle bits of strategy happening out there on the field between Wallace and Ackland. They've chopped and changed up their roles a couple of times. They both got great passes. They both can interchange into those positions. And then you add in the Rhys Joyce part of the combination. It looks pretty dangerous at this point, doesn't it?
Deadly spine indeed. And there we go. The man, Dion Snell, on the field. Fresh legs, wearing the 18 today off the bench. Ackland hands off to Falilua Malio. 20 off the line now. Ackland short to Palu.
Oh, he's
Offload
offloaded.
up the back as well. Play remains alive. Ackland centralizes. Snell.
Great step.
Wallace dancing around. Finds Joyce, who loops one back towards the middle of the park. Palu looked like he was
Shake the
considering
kick, yeah. He was faking them out.
Probably just as well he didn't. Ackland misses Snell. Finds Wallace. Wallace to
Great
Price.
inside.
Lovely inside ball. Price. That's a beautiful try, and it's Dylan Rota who's going to finish it. But the replay will make for nice viewing on that one. Let's take a look at how it went down. Some lovely touches here from the Mount Albert Lions.
Otahuhu had been scrambling very well at this point, you know, repelling them from the line. And they'll need to lift their heads as they come back to get ready for the kickoff.
And that's clever play there. That is really clever. Rota there, just hovering on the inside. Price knew all about it. And then from there, they catch them unawares for Mount Albert's second try of the game.
I dare say that would have been something they trained at Fowles Park. As we wait for the kick to come, we'd like to welcome in everybody from around the world, definitely around the South Pacific nations, joining us on the live stream brought to you by CTAS, Auckland Live League action. And you can find the links on aucklandleague.co.nz. You'll also find the big information about the big game in June too. Tonga New Zealand residents up against Auckland. Auckland's coming back, ladies and gentlemen, so make sure you join us on that day.
So Rhys Joyce to attempt the conversion. No wind around at all today as Joyce strikes it and nails it.
Done well. Great crowd down here today too, supporting at Birdham and Corey.
So the Mount Albert Lions with a nice, handy little lead here as we approach the 20-minute mark. Troy, you mentioned the crowd. It was building pretty much from the start of the day. They were here for the reserve game and in less than favourable conditions earlier as well.
Great
They love
support.
their footy down here at Otahuhu.
Yeah, great support. Even down along the Mount Albert's dead ball line, a lot of people down there as well as the kickoff goes deep.
So back into their work here.
Good march! Lead him up! Here we are! Hold two. Good, good.
Joyce at the line. Rotter in, big contact there. Excellent hit. And it is Malisala who rocks the ball loose.
He took a chance too coming in off the wing and he certainly made it count.
Here he is, the man himself. Not Albert say, we'll give you one back, son. Vafusuanga brings Todor Purcell into the action. Driving those legs, 20 out from the line. Uate. Finished off down low by Falilo Malio. Vafusuanga. They go short to Malutoa. Polani spotting up Rhys Joyce. Made a beeline for him. But Joyce holds his own in the tackle. Last tackle. Vafusuanga dancing around. Good defence, Mount Albert.
Time off, held up, it'll be a handover,
Tied him up, ball and all. Good D by the Mount Albert Lions. Great scramble.
Here we are on the 20, guys.
Otahuhu's going to have to double time now on their defence, keep them down here.
Go.
So change there. Todor Purcell coming off the field. Fresh legs on for the Otahuhu Leopards.
Hold one.
He's had some good carries, this lad.
13 up, roll away. Hold. Go two.
Snell. Big contact there on the ball down, Snell.
Little high fend.
Joyce, another beautiful long kick. Doyle this time is well aware of it and back to defuse the situation. He'll pick it up and see Corey Sita leading the kick chase. Takes it back into the heart. So good work there from Doyle. Made the little adjustment there, I think, on his positioning after Joyce found some grass on the first couple of long kicks. Setu too there with a good carry out of trouble.
On the line.
Trying to speed up, play the ball.
You go back.
Tell him to go back.
Back. Listen. Back.
Told him to go back a couple of times.
Surely after the first one you tell him, give the ball back.
Tackle two.
Two plays off the wrong spot there. We'll eventually get to it.
Here we are, Sola.
Just been given the heads up on the match manager there. About 18 to go, Corey.
Let him up.
Nuka with a good carry forward, the 20-year-old. Counties tag representative. He's also represented counties at rugby league, both 15s and 17s now. As Otahuhu threatened to break down the left through Witi Hera. Back towards the middle of the park they come now. Doyle looks high. Nicely taken at the back by Cortez Taulu.
Release down. 7 up. 7. Good one. Right sides off. 3. 3 off.
And inside the 10 is the call there from Otahuhu. So momentum swaying in this one, Troy, but you just get the feeling right now Mount Albert probably making the most of their opportunities, and most importantly, probably their discipline a little better than Otahuhu so far.
The thing that's impressed me most has been the halves. You know, the interchanging that sort of went on, and one of the tries just a wee bit earlier on in the piece. Dangerous, looking very sharp. That said, the Otahuhu team, you know, have been defending well. Those tries that Mount Albert have managed to make, they've had to work hard for them, and they've, you know, used a wee bit of trickery and skill to make it happen. So I think we're still in for a massive tussle yet.
Falilo Malio plays at the line. There's space here for Mount Albert, but nicely scrambled by Otahuhu. Reece Joyce is the man taken down. Ackland jumps out of dummy half. He'll go blindside. Tua holds it up to Sita. Sita breaks out of one. Corey Sita. Very close. Good scramble defense from Otahuhu. They hold it up. Ackland spins the ball out the back. A scrappy pass scooped up by Falilo Malio, who has no choice but to surrender. Last tackle coming up. Joyce is the dummy half. Hands it off to Wallace. Wallace spreads it on. Price goes to the line. Price looking for that offload. They're going to die on the ball here. So well defended there by the Leopards. Calls going out from Mount Albert to tighten things up. I want to try and pin this Leopards team in here. There's a big shot over the top by Snell. And he didn't wrap the arm. It's going to be, I think, actually called a high shot in the end of it all. But there's probably a hint of a shoulder charge in there as well. So Doyle now to kick for touch.
7.
Give a chance to the Otahuhu Leopards to find some composure.
On the 45.
You can hear the background, one of the assistant coaches, Cody Walker, telling them to tighten it up.
Release down, release.
Handy man to have on your coaching staff, Cody Walker, such a experienced player who did it all on the New Zealand club scene.
Yeah, a bit of time in the Burleigh Bears too, I'm told.
So up over halfway. This is a good carry here. Otahuhu into attacking territory. It's Ben Fartham Benedict with the nice work forward with the header. Now goes to the line.
Oates just released a few of their players from the bench.
Motu Muave, one of the new men on the field. Runs it into Palu there. Junior Lola here involved in the tackle as well. Malutoa, and the mistake in there, and we've seen it a couple of times now, Troy. Mistakes down in good ball situations for the Leopards. Frustrating.
Yeah, Mr. Ackland won't be happy about that, and he'll be looking for these guys, you know, to mount pressure. And on today like today, you know, back-to-back, completing your sets of 6 against a team like Mount Albert Lions, that, you know, that's one of the core fundamental things that you have to do.
Okay, so let's just go. Seconds down. Seconds down. Down. Listen. 9. When you're out.
So Rota, the first carry off the scrum.
Up now, 30.
Not a bad option to have, is it?
Good one.
Ackland.
They're good, right side's good.
Ackland spots up. There's no marker there. Runs 10 untouched. They get the penalty at the end of it as well, so things unraveling a little bit here for Otahuhu. Between a couple of bad mistakes and some penalties, they have really had a whole lot of pressure on them in the last few minutes.
Not a bad kick.
Keep coming in the middle, Oh. Good.
So Falilua Malio to get the set started for the Mount Albert Lions.
Oh, go one.
Just the one loss to their name this year against the Howard Hornets. Been a great start to the year. Of course, they won the Sports Safe ARL 9s earlier this year as well. So some silverware already in the cupboard.
Yeah, they played well up there. They trained hard pre-season. Coaching staff were all wrapped, and it was good to see Bluey up there on the day too. He looked in good form.
Snell, another uncompromising carry. It's the only way he knows. Ackland jumps out of dummy half, finds Wallace. Wallace goes out the back, finds Reece Joyce. Dinked, little kick over the top. Need to be careful here. Otahuhu well brought in and really had no choice there but to surrender himself in goal. Malisila. but did well to bring the ball in on that occasion. Lots of
showed a lot
pressure
of-
going on this Otahuhu Leopards team right now.
Showed a lot of safety there, eh, Corey? I mean, that was under pressure. He had guys coming down on him and just put his arm up and pulled it down. Beautiful to watch.
Behind kicker, time run. In the middle.
Doyle gets us back underway.
Good catch.
Fielded by
Here we go.
Joyce.
Contact, good.
We're getting some good minutes out of this front rower.
Absolutely. Sala Falilo-Amalia, we saw him in action for Custom Boys High School over the years.
Oh,
Spent time since then at his junior club, Te Aratu Roosters, Point Chevalier,
Yep.
and now Mount Albert.
I was about to say there's some boys his size still in college rugby league. And you'll be able to catch up with some of that live stream action a wee bit deeper into the season.
jump. Otahuhu.
So the mistake there breaks down for Mount Albert. So the execution that time just a little bit off. You can see the brains trust there. A little chat.
Mount Albert slow to pack down.
One step back, boys. Go for it.
Just giving the guys a wee bit of a breather as where experience plays into it.
Yep, yep. Let's go 7.
12 minutes from the coach, Keith, as he walks by.
That's okay.
Nuka Nuka takes it off the scrum.
Movement! Let him up.
Slammed to the ground under the weight of Ackland.
Oh, go 1. Quicker 9, quicker. Oh! Let him go.
Strong. 3 men on, still
No
standing.
markers, no markers.
Good play the ball.
Good now, Jared.
Palu wrestling with him, trying to get him to ground.
Okay.
Setu wants to quick play the ball.
3.
Gets quite the opposite. Spin the ball out to this left edge. Needs someone to take the game by the scruff of the neck here, do the Leopards. They get the penalty, that'll help.
Fella, the second hand. Hand coming on the ball.
Lots of communication coming from the sideline here, Corey, on both sides of the camp.
On the goal line,
I'm
go.
sure
Salafali Luamalia getting a bit of a father-son telling off.
Oh, go.
tap and go.
Witihira takes it forward. Great opportunity here for the Leopards. They have to complete here. They've made mistakes the last 2 times they've been down in this territory. Fresh legs on the park in the shape of Motu Moave. Also Felipe Vaifisi.
Oh, 2.
Doyle shuffles play onto Uate. Uate driving the legs. Just short of the line. And they're not square at marker. And it's again Falilo Amalia that's been penalised. So back-to-back penalties against the big fella.
Oh, the line, this fella. Didn't play.
A little bit
Yeah, but
more
he's in front
pressure
of the line.
mounting.
He's got to be behind the line or on it.
Doyle, I think, has got eyes on kicking this back here. So we do see this quite often where teams just want to get a little bit further back so they're able to put some set plays on. Sometimes when you're too close to the line, you've got no choice but to one out it. So don't be surprised to see something set up on the next play or two here for Otahuhu.
Go 1.
Motu Moave clears the ruck. They bring it back towards the middle. They're not far away here, the Leopards. Doyle is the dummy half.
Go 2.
Nice carry forward there by Simanu, the Christchurch product.
On the line.
Spent time with the Sydenham Swans and Papanui Tigers down south.
Quicker 9, quicker.
They go to the line now. Doyle chimes in. Well tackled though by Joseph Price. Up in the face. Peter Olivetti helping out as well.
4. Don't need to
So
hold me,
struggling to put anything together here are the Leopards, and that time a poor finish to the set, scooped up by Ackland.
Oh,
Yeah, defence across the line from Mount Albert looked very structured. Well, you know, like they're all scrambled structured. They're just a yellow wall.
oh, 2. He's good. Oh,
Snell slammed to the ground.
oh, go 3.
Joyce kicking early again, scuffed it. He had eyes on the 40-20, did Reece Joyce. Ended up scuffing it right down the middle of the park. Doyle again, good positioning at the back. Back there to collect.
Great kick and chase.
Let him up, Jared.
Otahuhu still coming back on side on that far edge.
Setu too, who has been heavily involved in the work early on.
Thank you. Oh, 2.
Inside the 5.
And we're going to have time off here. Referee Taylor wants a quick chat as the penalty count starts to mount up a little.
Just a little bit more.
We may be picking that up on the CTAS live stream.
Keep the moment. But like I said, if you're falling into that tackle, he's already made committed to that tackle. Originally he was high, now he's falling into the shoulder. Yeah, still got contact with the head. Still contact with the head. Stay away
A lot
from
of gesturing going on.
I'm not, you know.
I mean, Dion was sort of saying, oh, look, I've only just got back. I'm just easing myself back into the SAS Fox. Otahuhu back down into Lions territory again. Let's see what they can mount from here.
So an opportune time to strike here as we enter the final 10 minutes of the half.
One.
Simanu turned back on the inside. 10 out from the line now. It's a very slow play of the ball. Scrappy pass out the back. Scooped up by Witty header.
Good hands.
Go, 3.
They're struggling for direction right now, the Leopards. You just get the feeling they're really not too sure where they're going. Maybe their best result is going to come off.
Direct.
Play up the middle of the park. Maybe that's the best method for them right now. A shuffle short. Poor pass scooped up by Price. But they got a little lost there again, the Leopards. They need their halves to stand up, really stamp their authority on this one. Price, he can't believe there's not a penalty at the end of that.
Here we are. No markers, no markers.
Otahuhu need to contain them here.
Lola here, met in a solid tackle there by the Leopards.
Go, 3. Freestyle, stand on the line. Go, 4.
So Moni Makahili on the field as well. Snell takes it straight into Sofili. Joyce goes high. Doyle at the back. Great take under pressure, Geronimo Doyle. Boy,
Great courage.
had Falilua Malio breathing down his neck.
Oh, he thought about it. Otahuhu lads on that far side, out of picture, still getting back on side.
Movement, let him up. Here we are, hold. Let's carry, go, carry. Let's carry.
Motoa. And they come up with the mistake there, so the Otahuhu Leopards really their own worst enemies so far in this one. 10 points to 0. They have had their chances, Troy, but sloppy errors at both ends really hurting them right now.
Yeah, I tend to agree. It'll be an interesting chat for John at half-time with these Otahuhu Leopards in regards to probably just a wee bit more patience. You know, they've been down into the territory a number of times and just failing to sort of execute. Lions were really active, quite vigorous in the first opening parts of the match, and you know, got a couple of tries away, but they had to work for the tries. We've said that.
Wallace now looks to straighten up. Fresh legs on the park in the shape of Falilua Malio at dummy half. Aiden Ackland off for a break. Out towards this left edge they come. Price met and solid contact. 20 out from the line. Wallace, double pump. Heads back inside to Tua. Tua hands off to Sita. Good legs. Tackle though by Otahuhu. Witty header it was. Tua now. They come wide. Ball has come loose. It's good defence there from Otahuhu. Up in the face. Aggressive stuff. And they turn the ball over. It's going to be a scrum to pack down. Leopards feed.
We might be lucky in hearing the boys out here talking as the coaching staff are giving their insights.
Execution, the name of the game, I think we can take out of that one. With a few words perhaps not fit for broadcast.
Yeah.
So Setu 2 now dancing his way through. He's been pretty good off the wing so far, heavily involved.
Go, 1. Good. Release down.
Vafisi met by Makahili. As we enter the final 3 minutes of this first half here at Bert Henham Park. 40 off their line now, the Leopards. Working it out the tough way. They get to a kick via Maruroa. Kicks down wide. Rota keeps himself in the field of play. Otahuhu, the try scorer from earlier in the match, centralizes with a nice little dart. Lola here, dummies, goes to the line. He comes infield looking for a fair bit of work, this guy. Sita currently occupying the wing. Makahili, the fresh man on the field, chops down just on halfway. Dion Snell goes to the line. Gets to a quick play the ball as well. Wallace now, they're going to attack the short side. Joseph Price goes to the line. Olivetti has missed. Cortez Taolu into space, back inside to Peter Olivetti. Olivetti with one to beat. That's a lovely try. And it is Peter Olivetti who's going to run it around and centralise it. Does it the unorthodox way. Let's take a look at the SAS Sporting replay. This was a nice work down the left-hand side. And it starts with a good carry from Dion Snell and a quick play of the ball. And then from there, Trent Wallace, he knows what's on. Price plays out the line. Misses out Olivetti at the line. Taulu breaks nicely and then always knows that his centre is back in on the inside. Then from there, stands up Doyle. I'm not too sure about his work to centralise it here, Troy. That's got to be heart in the mouth stuff for the coaches.
Sort of came back out into the field of play, didn't he?
Steps back out of the field of play.
And then went back in again.
Gets there in the end. So good stuff there from the Mount Albert Lions. Peter Olivetti scores the try.
The referee was sort of standing there waiting for him to come back. Great to see the SAS replay there. Major sponsors of the Fox Memorial, SAS Sporting Apparel.
So that's going to just about do us for first half action here. Reece Joyce to kick for a 16-0 lead. And they're good for it, I think, Mount Albert. They are worthy of this lead. They have been pretty good despite some breakdowns in attacking execution. Have managed the game fairly well. Joyce moves in. And the kick is good. So it is the WH Wary Mount Albert Lions 16, Roof Care Otahuhu Leopards 0. With less than a minute remaining here at Bert Henham Park in the feature game of our live stream action. Earlier we brought you the Crown Lift Trucks match, which was won by the Ellerslie Eagles over the Papatoi Toi Panthers. Looking forward to doing it all again next week. Part of our beefed up live stream program here at the Auckland Rugby League.
Time to run. Line kicker.
As they get ready for the kickoff, don't leave us at half time. You'll be able to catch up on all of the highlights from last week's live stream match. And that will come to you during the break.
I hope you haven't put every try on the highlights package, Troy, because it will be a fairly long video file. Last week, of course, 42-0. Point Chevalier getting up over the Northcote Tigers. Siren goes in the background there. Wallace puts it into touch, and that's all she wrote for the first half, ladies and gentlemen. Do stay with us. Highlights of last week's live stream game to come. And we'll be back in about 10 minutes' time for the second half here, round 6 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership.
Live league action. In 2018, the Auckland Rugby League is putting the game in your hands. Never miss a hit from New Zealand's premier rugby league competition. To get the inside edge on where you can watch the action live and free, head up aucklandleague.co.nz. Live league action, aucklandleague.co.nz.
As Lehman now takes it to the line. Lehman now, he's stood them up with footwork. That is beautiful work. A minute on from his 40-20 kick. The little number 7 says, I'll get the try as well, boys. Spin him around as well to ensure that slow play the ball. Ulu Ulu hands it off to Poimatangi, who's going to go close. Referee points to the spot and spins it out the back door. Jonathan Henry, he's going to go over. That is clever play there from the dummy half. John O'Weir the presence of mind to just spin that ball out the back door there. Kelly feeds the scrum now, blindside play, they're going to go down the left-hand edge now. Otahuhu shows it up, goes himself. There's the try. Weir spins that ball wide now. Mamia goes to the line, Cutter. Puts Mackenzie Cutter through the gap. You're not going to stop him there. Had to call on players from everywhere. John O'Paul even joked pre-match that they'd invited all the players' neighbours to come and play today. Tafutu now straightens up.
Great run.
Oh, this is beautiful stuff here now. They come out to this left edge. There's space here. Vogel holds it up. Vogel's going to skin them on the outside. That's a great try. And it is Corey Vogel who finishes it off. So the Scorpions, they fought valiantly today. All credit to them. It has been close for the majority. It's only late on that Bay Roscoe have pulled away. Kalani takes the ball forward. That's going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. So it is the Bay Roscoe Vikings who win this one, 32 points to 20. Makawi to Michael Key. He's going to go there. Michael Key stretches out and scores the opening try. Play short now to Vida, to Tuitama. Ledger, beautiful inside ball. Oliver Tumavavi, Champagne Rugby League, Point Chevalier. Vida Latu spots up on a dummy half, puts Kevin Arona through a gap. He's got support either side. Arona, dummies, holds it up. Ankle tap there. Was it or was it a trip? Doesn't matter. The promoted second phase. Oli Tumavavi plays it on. Francis Ledger's going to score in the corner. Latu to Seal. Seal goes out the back door. Quick hands from Tavita. Tavita's put Key into a gap. Oliver Tumavavi gets a second. Papali'i straightens. Papali'i with the footwork. Papali'i. Abraham Papali'i breaks through about 3 tackles and crashes over. So Northcote now push right up against their line. Nathan Newton has powered his way over. They want to crack 40. Latu jumps out, plays Newton short. That is too easy. Tiaho will die on the ball, and that will do it, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Ortex Point Chevalier Pirates 42, North City Reinforcement, Northcote Tigers 0.